It feels like you're completely hopeless. Sometimes people just can't get out of bed in the morning, and you know you have things to do, but you just don't care if you don't do them, because you just stop caring whatsoever. And there are some times where you just feel completely numb, and you stop caring about everything.
Depression is like having a low mood over a long period of time, and it can affect your sleeping and it can make you feel suicidal. And
something that would trigger like a fight or flight response.
The condition which kind of interferes with your ability to be able to, I guess, live life in a way that it should be done.
Like the whole world is out to get you.
Like you're kind of like not thinking, but at the same time you're thinking, and because of that it stresses your brain out. It's
pressure, this relentless pressure.
Just everything's dark and dull. It's like the whole world's black and white.
Young people can feel quite isolated.
About halfway through year 9, and I know I went okay, because I had quite a few issues and stuff come up. It kind of all just went. I became quite a homebody. My family didn't realize it.
I used to have this thing about making jokes about stuff that shouldn't be joked about, and then my friends called me out on it, and they were like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's fine. It's just a joke." But I realized, oh, it's not just like a dark sense of humor. It's more than that.
In a lot of year 9, I actually spent crying, but it was quite bad, and at a point I was actually considering running away.
At the start, it really wasn't significant. It was kind of just dealing with a lower mood than I had been, but it didn't really interfere with my ability to be around my friends, to do well in school.
Like the whole world is kind of hating on you.
From there, it's gotten a lot worse, to the point where my ability to be in school, there are times where I don't think I can be in school.
I'll still get a few weeks where I don't want to do anything.
And it's definitely interfered with my capability to socialize with my friends, with my family, and complete academic stuff as well.
There are a few things that we would look out for.
In the sort of world of psychiatry and mental health, there are sort of diagnostic criteria.
How somebody's sleeping, how somebody's eating, drug abuse or alcohol abuse, or people being neglected.
You feel worried all the time.
There's this tool, the HEADS assessment, that a lot of people in this industry use. Is a tool that helps you identify a little bit how somebody's doing. So we ask about sleeping patterns, how somebody's eating, if there's any community engagement, peer support, and we also ask in this assessment if they feel safe, how is life at home, what are their mood levels.
It's not like everybody's fine and then there's this big dividing line and then there's anxiety and depression. I think that many of us, will in our lives experience times of feeling anxious and depressed. So it's kind of like you slip over into it.
Most of my stress comes from school. There's lots of pressure to do well, so you can get into whatever course you want to do. Exams, assessments and all that.
It's starting to really hit hard. I feel like social media,
I find there are people on social media, people who are very open with their experiences, people who have lived through it, and I think that's really good. There's also a lot of negatives on social media. You only ever see like the perfect side of people's lives. You kind of compare your failures to their not failures.
Social media can portray an unrealistic way of living.
TV and like Netflix and stuff, they give these people a break from what their brains are doing and saying, and that can be really good, but also really dangerous in the long term.
They're normal, sometimes life just gives you a whole lot of stuff to deal with.
Barely any of us actually take the time to stop.
A tremendous burden, this feeling like if they don't make it, there must be something wrong with them.
I guess us all as humans could do with a little bit more support and kindness, I believe, is just taking time for yourself.
Being diagnosed also helps a lot, because it's really cool to just put a label on it and not feel guilty about the whole situation.
We're really big on self-care here at Youth Line.
It's really important to help, like, empower people to feel like they can change their lives.
To slow down, let's have something to eat. What about tuning down on a coffee? And
I used to think that I could get rid of my depression by myself. I was like, oh, I'm feeling bad. It's okay. I'll just be happy. And it's really hard to do that when you don't have anyone supporting you. It's a monumentous task. It's like you're digging yourself in a hole, and you're in a hole, and then you're trying to pull yourself out of the hole, but you can't because you're in the hole.
I tell you, one of the biggest things is having someone there for you.
Having the 3 or so people who are support is really helpful.
It's been really good to have like a really supportive friend group.
And that's not just me saying something soft and warm. It actually comes from all the research that says, one of the strongest protective factors for anyone struggling with a mental health problem or with sadness or whatever we want to call it, is having someone to listen to them. All the research tells us that the biggest source of support for young people is other young people.
Listen to what I have to say. I'm not trying to fix it or anything, just listening to what I have to say instead of telling me what I should do instead, just being heard more than anything.
just support, to have somebody to listen to you makes a big difference.
It might seem hard, but just talk. Talk to somebody.
Tell someone you trust. Don't let it boil up like I did.
The biggest message is really just talk to somebody. Just talk to somebody. It doesn't have to be a professional, just talk to somebody.
So just talk, because your future self will thank you.
It's really good to just say it out loud